You might be able to become a millionaire coming up next on the Live Desk. Do you want to retire young and rich? My next guest is hoping that he and his wife have laid the financial groundwork to do just that. They want to retire with $10 million at only 50 years old. Here to tell us his rich retirement formula is Luke Wickham. Hi, Luke.
Hey, Martha, how you doing?
I understand that you got to be with us today, but your wife's off at work. Is that true?
Yeah, you know, somebody's got to make the money, Martha. She had a last-minute trip to Birmingham, Alabama for a presentation, and she couldn't be here today, but she wishes you well.
So, well, that's good. It's a good story. We saw the piece on USA Today that was done on you guys. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing differently than other young people your age that you see.
Yeah, I mean, I think a big problem with a lot of the youth and my generation and my wife's generation is it's like an entitlement generation. They don't want to wait until they're 50 or 60 to drive a Range Rover or BMW and Range Rover. They want it now. And they want the 52-inch flat screen TV even though it costs $8,000 and they can't afford it. But they're not willing to wait. They want it today. They want it now.
So, Luke, how do you guys avoid those temptations? Because you're putting away 20% of your gross income, which is not easy to do. What are you guys depriving yourself of, and how do you make decisions together about what not to buy?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great partnership. My wife is great with it. She doesn't complain much, and we've set a plan about 6 years ago to do this, and any purchase that we made over $200, we're going to talk about and discuss. We're not going to make any impulse buys and stay away from big ticket items like cars and boats. And
now, I know you put a lot of your money into real estate. I think you have 4 real estate investments in Orlando. Are you concerned at all? The real estate market has been cooling off lately. Are you rethinking that investment at all?
Not at all, Martha. The timing was really good. We haven't bought a property in the last 3.5 years. Obviously, it's cooled down a little bit here in Florida. It's had a little 20 to 30% correction.
That's a pretty big correction.
All of our properties have cash flowed from day one. The appreciation is just a bonus for me and Hannah. We're just counting on the cash flow, and obviously the last 4 years have been tremendous appreciation in Florida and in the whole country for that matter.
And you have some good stock market investments. I know you've had some nice gains. Any thoughts about how you want to recalibrate your, the whole portfolio, the whole mix right now, or are you just staying and holding?
Yeah, just kind of holding and thinking long term. I believe in the American economy and the system, and I think long term will be okay. I'm not a portfolio manager or a financial analyst, but I think long-term, we're going to be fine.
All right, Luke Wickham, thank you very much. Say hi to your wife. We'll talk to her next time, perhaps. It's good to have you with us. And now we want to find out how you can follow this plan or your own plan. Liz Ann Saunders is with me from Stamford, Connecticut. She's Chief Investment Strategist for Charles Schwab, and she has a lot of experience talking to people about their money. Hi, Liz Ann.
Hi. How are you, Martha?
I'm good, thanks. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you, too, if only on camera.
Exactly. What do you think about this young couple's plan? 20% they're saving. It's extremely high compared to most people, right?
I'll tell you, though, it's music to my ears. I think the discussion about long-term planning and the sometimes short-term sacrifices that involves, I think is somewhat abnormal, but nice to hear. And I think the fact that they have a long-term plan, they seem to be sticking with it, is the key. Most of the time I'm asked to come on any show to talk about the market. It's usually to talk about what the market is doing today or what I think it might be doing a week from now, which quite frankly should be irrelevant for most, whether it's young or old investors, if they have a long-term plan established. So that was nice to hear.
They have a lot of investment in real estate, in Florida real estate in particular. I know you haven't worked with this couple and you can't give them advice specifically, right, but just based on what you're hearing, is that a good idea? And what do you recommend right now in terms of a mix for these young people who can be a little bit more aggressive?
Well, again, it is hard to say precisely because I don't know them. I think there's any number of different ways to structure a portfolio in terms of its asset allocation. A lot of it actually has a lot more to do with risk tolerance than it does age. I think one of the mistakes investors make is they assume that if they're very young that they should have a more aggressive portfolio, but they might not have that kind of risk tolerance. And I think that's the most important part of the decision when it comes to how a portfolio should be allocated.
As we often say, you have to be able to sleep at night, right, Liz Ann?
Absolutely.
All right, good to see you, Liz Ann. We'll see you soon. Take care. Liz Ann Saunders joining us today from Connecticut. All right, up next, my interview with former Senator Rick Santorum on what he thinks the president is doing right. Plus, will he run for president? Coming up. And with all the hoopla about the new season of American Idol, we sent our live desk